Hey guys, welcome to a very special edition of That New Show. I am your host, Chase Bunker. Joining me today is an award-winning composer for such video games as Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Perfect Dark, Donkey Kong 64, Viva Piñata, By The Ghoulies, Civilization Beyond Earth, and now he is composing the music for the highly anticipated game Yooka-Laylee, which got fully funded in just 40 minutes. He is Grant Kirkhope. Grant, how are you doing today?
Hello, yes, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Doing great. Let's talk about Yooka-Laylee for just a second. I know that originally you guys wanted to make the Banjo 3E, and the company was like, no, we don't want to do that. We think platforming's dead. And then you see Yooka-Laylee get funded in 40 minutes. Was it great knowing that, everybody really wanted this game? Or was it great knowing that you were just right? Like, yeah, we kind of want this game to still exist.
I think a bit of both, really. I think it was. I think we thought it would get funded, but we just had no idea it would be so ridiculous. I mean, it's ironic that after all these years of people saying it was going to be a bad idea, that the game's broken records for funding quickly and the most funded Kickstarter ever in the UK, and it's just gone off the scale really. So I kind of feel a little bit kind of exonerated that I was right all these years. So it's very flattering, and it's a fantastic opportunity for us to make the game we wanted to make all those years ago, and it's nice that the people out there still want to see it.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those things that I think we'll look back on in years and understand the kind of magnanimity. I can't say the word magnanimity. I can't say it. Of it. Because I think that you're a bit too close to it right now. It all seems a bit like dreamlike at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's just spectacular, and yeah, both of those things. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I saw everybody was like, "Oh, it's gonna be the Banjo-Kazooie successor," and then I heard your music, your sample for the Jungle track. It's like, this sounds like childhood. It sounds so good. Definitely check it out. Link is in the description. 12 days left. How did you get approached to become part of this project?
Well, maybe we talked about it for years, really off and on. It's just been a really happy set of fortunate disasters that have brought everyone together, really. Some of the guys got laid off from Rare in a round of layoffs. Some of them quit. But it's the first real time that the core people from Banjo-Kazooie that I work with on those games, and Piñata and By The Ghoulies, all those games are all done with the same people. It's the first time the core people have been together, like since 15 years ago, whatever it is.
Oh, wow.
So it is it's never been a time we've all been together like this before. So apart from working at Rare. So yeah, it was, and that, I mean, Gavin Price, who was the kind of guy that put it together, really, he'd been thinking about it for a long time. We did have a kind of a half-assed attempt at putting something together a few years ago with the Minji Jongo account thing that we had going on Twitter, and that was some of those guys, not all of them. But at the time, some of the guys were still at Rare. I was busy. I was at Big Huge Games at the time. So I think we just had no time to do it, and so it kind of fell to pieces very quickly. And then this time, it's just been done the right way, and Gav's done a ton of work to get all the business side of it up and running, and the people were available to be part of the company and wanted to be part of the company. And I've been telling those guys for a long time that it could really work, and they were kind of not sure. And I've been saying I really, because I was, because my Twitter account is like 30,000, 40,000 people, whatever. So I would get, I guess I'm kind of the most visible person from those team back in those days. Not because I'm anything special, just that I happen to have a Twitter account that people found more than anybody else's. So I think I was getting the brunt of the interest in another Banjo-Kazooie sort of styled game. So I kind of knew it was people were interested in it, but no one would really believe me because I was getting all the heat and nobody else was. And then I think that I was kind of saying to these guys, honestly, I really believe that these people would really buy a game. They would fund a Kickstarter, would maybe raise 100 grand or something. That's what I thought, if we were lucky. So yeah, all that stuff's kind of gone on, and it's just been really fortunate to be, associated with it. I mean, I must hasten to add that I'm not an employee of Platonic. I'm still a contract composer for them. Okay. I chose to remain that way. I could have been part of the company, but just because I work for other people, it would be difficult. So I work for other games at the same time.
Yeah.
So I've chosen to be just my usual contract self, but I'm heavily involved in it, and we talk about it all the time. So it was just one of those things. It's like, let's just get on with it. And Gav put it together, got the right guys involved. The Gav sorted out a couple of business loans from places in the UK to get the company up and running, with the expect that they would get hopefully some Kickstarter money, and it's just gone ridiculous. So.
Yeah, I checked it this morning. It was I didn't know that your original goal was just 270,000, and now it is at like 2.2 million, which I think it's great that first off you guys made your goal, but I think like to destroy it, and it just shows that a lot of people really wanted this game, so a lot of people were just saying this is the real Banjo 3E, not nuts and bolts. So we kind of just like, yeah.
That's to say, I think it's 2.7 million, not 2.2.
Oh, is it 2.2 now or 2.7?
2.7. Yeah.
Good Lord. Either way, it's even more incredible.
No.
Let's start all the way back at the beginning of your career. What made you decide to go into video game music?
I didn't really decide to do it. It was a complete fluke. It was I'm a good friend of mine, Robin Beanland. We used to play in rock bands together in North Yorkshire, and we kind of met a long time ago, and we were friends. And he was a keyboard player and used to always mess around with sequencing stuff and all that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And he applied for a job at Rare and got it, and announced to the band, I'm leaving, I'm going to go and move away and work at Rare. Like, when you play in bands at that age, no one gets jobs. Everyone just kind of takes unemployment and does bands and tries to make money out of gigs and all that stuff, So for someone to get a job was pretty special. It was like, my God, he's got a job. So off he went to Rare, and he sort of, after about a year and a half, he said to me, Grant, you've been on unemployment for a long time, on and off for about 11 years probably. So I've just left university and played in bands. I never got a job. And he said, why don't you try and do what I'm doing? And I was like, well, I don't know if I can do it. I've never tried to compose before. I've written songs for the metal bands I played for, but I didn't really try to compose anything. I was really bad at harmony when I was at university. I was terrible at it. So he said, well, look, buy this and buy this and buy this. So I bought like a Atari ST and, pardon me, a copy of Cubase and a synth, and just tried to write video game tunes. I played a lot of games at that point, so I knew what it sounded like. So I kind of spent about a year writing tunes, sending cassette tapes into Rare. Like I sent 5 cassette tapes over the course of a year to Rare and didn't get any reply. And all of a sudden I got a letter saying, please come for an interview. I couldn't believe it. Like out of the blue, and it just sort of said, please bring with you 3 tunes you've written, like one like a fighting game, one like a Mario tune, one like something else, which I always forget. So I went for the interview, and Dave Wise and Simon Farmer, the general manager, interviewed me. I was on a Friday. On a Monday, I got a letter saying he got the job. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I started October 15th, 1995. And that was the first job I'd had in my life. I just had no idea, and I was over the moon, that I was going to go and write music for a living and do sound effects as well. That was it. It was absolutely by fluke. I never once thought ever in my entire life that I would be a composer. That was the furthest thing that I would think of.
Yeah. And then, of course, the rest is history. You've made so many great soundtracks. You've won numerous awards. Also nominated for a BAFTA, which is a very prestigious award as well. You did the music for Banjo-Kazooie, like I previously mentioned, and it was the first time that you did it by yourself. You didn't have David Wise with you. You didn't have a whole bunch of people. Like, I mean, at that time, you did Goldeneye, and you did a few others, but like this was your first like solo project. Yeah. And when it came out, reviewers just kept making a point to say the music is incredible, the sound effects are amazing, like pretty much all the stuff that you did, like people like highly praised it. How does that feel how does it feel going in with your first solo project with it being such a huge success?
It was just, I think that Rare was very good at keeping us all very grounded and quite distanced, really. We never did interviews. It was the kind of, it wasn't really allowed. The Stamper family used to always say that, we're not pop stars, we make games and let the games do the talking. What's the point of talking about it? Just make great games and forget about the rest. So it was always very like that. So I don't think anybody ever got that kind of big-headed kind of, oh my God. But it was for me, it's pretty spectacular that I got such good reviews and stuff. I didn't expect it. And I didn't know what to expect, really. It's my first proper project. And it was just, I don't know, I kind of felt maybe I'd done a good job for once in my life. And I was kind of happy that, because I did choose a little bit of a different kind of sound for the music. I thought so at the time. Nothing else sort of sounded like that kind of weird, wacky way it sort of sounded. And I didn't know whether people would like it or not. I didn't know. I just had no idea. So I just kind of did my best and kept my fingers crossed. And no, it was unbelievable for it to be kind of so successful. And I never thought that people would talk about Banjo-Kazooie like 17 years later and still listen to the music now. I still find that incredible. Like I never get used to that. It's still a weird thing for me to kind of come to terms with.
Yeah, I mean Banjo-Kazooie. I love Banjo-Kazooie. I love Banjo-Tooie even more. Banjo-Tooie is one of my favorite games ever, or it's one of my favorite games of all time on my top 10 list. It's so incredible. One of the things I want to ask about Banjo-Kazooie is you don't have any voice acting in it. It's all a bunch of ooh, 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 and like all the characters, like they don't make noises. Was there like a particular reason behind that, or do you guys think, okay, this might work if we just do a bunch of noises instead?
It was all down to memory, really, because like you had such tiny memory space on the cartridges that you just couldn't fit in. Because speech is long, right? You can't make speech any small. You can compress it, but you can't make it really any smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Like a length of dialogue is that length. So you can make it an MP3, or it's still going to be big compared to the space of the other instruments and other sound effects. So there's just no space for it. It was just weight. There was no chance of it. So we decided to try and do something else, trying to make it sound. I don't know. I mean, it's really funny how, like, at the time, I just thought, oh, this is pretty awful, and it doesn't sound very good, and I tried my hardest to make it sound all right, and it was just like, but it's funny now, it becomes sort of iconic. It's really bizarre. I'm actually working on a game for somebody else right now that I can't speak about, of course, that I was sitting in an office with them discussing, they wanted to use that method of speech. And I was, what? What do you mean? He said, well, yeah, it's so iconic. And I was like, you're joking. It's bloody awful, So it's really bizarre how you just do things because you have out of necessity and end up sometimes it becoming, people really like it because it's, I don't know, for whatever reason, but that took a lot of messing around to get as right as it is. Like some characters had a lot of samples, some characters had a few samples. It was just different, and we kind of worked out how to make it sound roughly speech-like, but it was just purely out of necessity, wasn't designed to be a spectacular thing at all.
I guess that also probably answered my next question. When you guys did, I watched an episode of when you were on Game Grumps, which is hysterical, by the way. If you haven't watched that, check it out. You actually did a lot of the voice work, and you also altered a lot of the tones to it. Like you were Mumbo, and I believe you're King Jiggy. I think we may or may not have confirmed that. But was that also a memory issue as well, or did you think, well, if we took this and kind of like tweaked it a little bit, this will work a lot more better?
It's just memory. Like, a lot of times in those games, you would repurpose samples. Like something could be, like I use Banjo's voice for Clanker's voice. I just pitch Banjo's samples right down because you can't tell what the samples are because they're so low in pitch. But it sounds a bit like a whale. So you would constantly repurpose samples because it would save memory, because you can pitch bend them and you could process them differently. It wouldn't take any more memory because the samples was already sat there. So if you could make it fit something else, you did it because it just saved memory.
Nice. In 2008, you announced that you were going to become a freelance composer. What led to that decision?
You know what? I don't really know about that. I mean, I was getting disillusioned at Rare. I wasn't happy like I used to be. I just kind of finished Piñata 2 and Nuts and Bolts-ish. Yeah. I did all Piñata, but maybe not quite all Nuts and Bolts. And I just felt that it wasn't the same place for me. I wasn't enjoying it like I used to really enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Tim and Chris Stamper had left, and I really liked them being there a lot. I thought they were very, especially Tim. I thought Tim was a great, great ideas person and full of beans. And he would always encourage you to do the best. And he'd always be the kind of guy that would go, "Yeah, that sounds great, Grant, but have you thought of this?" There was always something else that was. You'd go, "Oh shit, I never thought of that." He always had that. He knew he'd always say something that would make you go, "Oh God, I've got to do it again." Because he was like that kind of guy, And I missed that a lot when they left. I didn't like it as much. Mm-hmm. And I was getting disorientated with it probably before that. Because I think Rare had started to decline slightly even before Microsoft bought it, really. It was kind of going a bit wrong at that point for a couple of reasons. And so, yeah, I always wanted to work in America because I love America. We used to like, my wife used to always vacation here before we had kids. So I always thought, would it be fun to try and work in America? So I kind of applied for a couple of jobs over the years and never got them. And then, I applied for Big Huge Games job, and that was, and they said, yeah, you can have it. So it's like, oh, now I really got to go. So that we just kind of, I don't know, we just thought, it's an adventure, let's try it. It's scary with having two kids to relocate to America and to Baltimore. But we just wanted to give it a go and see what it's like. And it's worked out okay so far, but it's been a bit up and down, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but it's been a really great experience for all of us. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely glad that I'm pretty sure me and like a bunch of other gamers are also glad that you're here as well.
Hi.
When did you know that you made it big?
I mean, I don't really think I have made it big. Honestly, I don't really feel like that. I think I don't really like that kind of ego-y sort of thing to think of myself like that. I just kind of think of myself as a geek like everybody else. And I'm not really big on the kind of I am this, I am that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of hope that that I do good work. That's what I really hope. I really hope that I do write good music so people like it and they remember it. And it may remember when I'm long gone. When I'm long gone, I don't know. You know, I think that for me to make it big, I would have to win an Oscar. You know, that would have to be the kind of if I ever, you know, I'm never going to get there. I like that would have to be the mark that I kind of say, all right, maybe I've done all right at this point. I think British people don't. You know, when I meet American guys and composers, they kind of go, "Yeah, I've just done this, and it's awesome, and it's all." And like, kind of British people, if you ask a British composer if he's good, he'll probably say, "Yeah, I'm all right." You know, that's what British people are right. They don't like to blow their own trumpet like that. So I think I'd have to really score fantastic beasts and where to find them, the next Harry Potter inspired movie, and win an Oscar for it to even think about thinking I'm any good.
Yeah,
I think
that's the American ego for you. Yeah.
I think I'm only ever really sort of 75 to 80% happy with what I write.
Nice.
I always think that I could have done it better or something could have been different about it.
Is there
I never feel that never changed for me.
is there a song that you made that you just like absolutely love, like hearing it again, or like you absolutely hate and you're like, why did I write this?
You know, I haven't really written anything that I really hate. I've never done that. I've been very lucky. I've written tons of stuff that I like. I love that Bedtime Story from Piñata is a great song for me. But I do really like the music I've written for Kingdom of Amalur and for Civilization Beyond Earth. And the new Civilization expansion pack coming out later this year, the Rising Tide. I've written some more stuff for that, and I'm really super proud of that.
Nice.
I think it sounds. It's not being recorded by orchestra. They record it this month in Prague. So I've not heard the final version yet. So that'll be great to hear. But I'm really super proud of that. You know, so I've been really lucky. I've worked on projects that I've really genuinely liked throughout my career.
Yeah. Was there ever a game that you absolutely loved making music for it? Like it was like just making the music for it. It was like, this is all just like a great collaborative, or this is just awesome.
Yeah, Viva Piñata, you just say that. I really like doing the music for both those games. It's really like kind of pastoral sounding classic English music in my head anyway. And I was kind of thinking about Vaughan Williams and Elgar because I love those composers. And I've tried to do my little bit of how they sound, which I know I didn't get there, but that's the kind of that was in my head at the time. And especially the second game, I really poured my heart into the second game, probably more than, well, both games really, but the second game I knew I was going to be leaving right at that time, so it was even more poignant for me. So I really loved writing that kind of romantic music. It's right up my street, that is. I'm a bit of a softie at heart, really.
Yeah. You composed the music, like you talked about Civilization Beyond Earth, and you actually made it like for an orchestra. Like, did you actually conduct in the orchestra as well, or did you just like compose the music for it?
No, I've done a few orchestral soundtracks, like from Piñata and Nuts and Bolts and Kingdoms of Amalur, City of Ill 2. They're all live orchestras. But with Civilization, because I was a hired contract composer for Axis, I didn't go to the recording sessions.
Okay.
So no, I didn't. But even when I do go, I don't conduct. I tend to sit in the control room to try, because I think when I'm conducting, I think I don't notice if mistakes get made. When you're in the control room, you can listen to stuff and say, you know, cellos bar 3 are a bit too loud, you know, all that kind of stuff that you do.
Yeah.
For a Judas Priest fan, that's pretty odd. So I tend to not do that. So I sit in the control room, listen to the mistakes.
All right. Is it difficult writing music for an entire orchestra? Considering like you have to write now notes for the trumpets, notes for the cellos, and like all these other people, or is it actually easier than what people think?
It's hard, but I find it okay, because I think because I was classically trained from like the age of 6, I played trumpet, and then right with it to kind of went to music college and got a degree in music. So I've been used to sitting in an orchestra all my life. I know how they sound. So it was never really very hard for me to kind of adapt to that at all. So I never found that difficult. I think some composers do find it hard because it is difficult. But I think I've been around it so long. I knew what it's supposed to sound like. I knew that how the trumpets work and how the brass works compared to the percussion and the strings and the woodwind and all that kind of stuff. So I think that it's hard to do it, but it's okay for me, and I really, really enjoy it. It's good fun.
Yeah. Is there a particular instrument that you love to play?
Well, it's bizarre really because I spent such a long time being a classically trained trumpet player, and I really can't be asked to play the trumpet at all. But I really like playing guitar. Well, I used to like playing guitar an awful lot. I was in metal bands from like 12 till
nice.
I guess till 33, and metal bands was what I wanted to be in all the time. Like I was Maiden fan and Priest and Van Halen and all those kind of great bands, Queensryche especially, and Pantera. I like all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I want to be a metal band. I want to do that all my life. That's what I wanted to be, a heavy metal star. That's all I've ever wanted to do. So I think that I've got to say it's bizarre. I don't play anything hardly at all now. I don't play guitar at all. I don't play trumpet at all. I just sit and plonk away on my keyboard at the computer, and that's what I do really. So, and I'm a terrible pianist. I mean, I really am awful. Yeah, it's bizarre. I spent all those years trying to be a good metal guitar player, and now I just don't touch it, which is a bit odd.
What was the first song that you ever learned on guitar?
That's a good one. It's probably some kind of 70s pop song. I'm just trying to think what it could possibly be. I think it might be "My Sweet Lord" by George Harrison. I think that's the first.
Really?
I remember the first two chords, E minor, A major, and I learned those two chords first. And that was the first song I learned how to play.
Yeah, I remember when I first got my guitar, I immediately looked up Crazy Trains. I feel like that's like one of those like natural, like you get a guitar, you have to know Crazy Trains. It's like a rite of passage.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. What games are you currently playing right now?
Not any. I mean, I've got to say, I don't play a lot of games these days. I don't have to listen all the time. It's bizarre. The more people that I meet that are a little bit older, the more I hear that kind of thing, because you get so involved in what you do and you've just got time to play it. You end up watching a lot of games to try and get the feel of it, the things that you're writing, but you don't play it too much. So like, what have I played recently? God, I can't think of anything really. What have I played? I played a bit of Bird Ball, which is the game I'm doing with William Pugh. I've done a bit of that.
Nice.
That's a good game, funny. Enchanted Cave 2, I've been doing that as well. Desktop Dungeons, because I wrote music for all these games, so I'm playing some of those little bits.
Nice.
Watching my son play Splatoon.
That's so fun.
My son plays Wizard 101 online as well. And I was a really big World of Warcraft player. Before I left the UK, I played a lot of that. I mean, an awful lot of that. I was in a big guild and the raids and stuff. And then when I moved over here, I called Blizzard to say I'm moving to America. I want to do a character transfer, but at that point they didn't do international character transfers. I was like, what?
That's
I'd just
stupid.
spent years. I'd spent years on this bloody little mage character I had, and I couldn't move him to America. It kind of burst my bubble on World of Warcraft. So I'd start all over again. So I did start again and got back to the same. It wasn't the same for me though. Yeah. I don't know why. So they said it was They said it was server incompatibility issues, which I don't really believe. Like what? It's the same character in the same game. Anyways, that was that. But they wouldn't do it. So that kind of broke my heart. That did. So after that, I wasn't so big on Warcraft anymore.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't play an awful lot really. I always endeavour to, but I never seem to get there.
Right before the move, she'll be like, "Honey, we need to prolong the move. I can't get my character transferred yet, so let's hold off a few months."
I'll tell you what, it was nearly a deal breaker for America. I nearly couldn't come.
Oh, that's funny. Have any of your kids played, any of the games that you composed music and be like, "Yeah, I did that. I made that music."
Yeah, my son's 12, my daughter's 9, so he's a complete avid gamer, and he's addicted to games. I guess really, he's way worse than I was already. And it's funny. I'd got Banjo-Kazooie from on the Xbox 360, and I didn't tell him I wrote the tune for it. I just said, you should play it, see what you think, because he might have hated it, and that would have been awful to kind of tell his father he hated it. I didn't want to put him in that situation, but he really loved it, and he likes the music. He's got the music on his iPhone, all the banjo stuff. So and I was quite flattered he wanted to do that.
Nice.
Played Banjo-Tooie. He's just got Donkey Kong 64 on the virtual console thing. What else he got of mine? He got By The Ghoulies. He loves Piñata too. He likes Nuts and Bolts actually as well. So I guess really all of my games really. I mean, By The Ghoulies used to scare him a little bit. He didn't like the Grim Reaper. But he's better now because he's older.
Yeah.
But yes, but all of them really. And he does. He was at school. Like he was talking to one of his friends, and one of his friends' cousins was talking about the Donkey Kong rap, and the friend said to the cousin, "That's nothing. I worked with I got to school with the son of the guy that wrote the Donkey Kong rap." I think he was quite chuffed that he kind of had a bit of special notoriety. because I wrote the book. You know, like that's a bit. So that's quite. I think it's starting to occur to him now that it might be a few points in mentioning my name here, and I don't know. It's quite funny. So and some of these friends are a bit kind of embarrassed to talk to me because I think they think because they've played my games, the games that I've done and like it, and I don't know. I don't really like that either. I just feel like I'm just an ordinary person, really. Some of the guys are a little bit scared to talk to me. It's a bit weird.
I remember listening to the Donkey Kong rap. I remember getting the game. It was on Christmas, and I was watching the rap like, yeah, this is really cool. This is really catchy. And then it went to this Kong's one hell of a guy. And I'm like, they swore in a video game. Like, but at that time, I was like, it was so like I never played games that like had swearing in it before. I was like, Mom's not in the room, right? Okay. She don't need to know about this. And so, like, it blew my mind that first time. But it was such a good game.
I've got to say, I really found that strange that people found that that isn't considered a swear word in the UK at all.
Yeah.
People say it all the time. And so I really found that strange that's typical, like, conservative America to me. That's typical, you know, overly religious America. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, I think, like, that's very prevalent here sometimes. And I think that, you know, like my daughter thinks that damn's a swear word. And I was like, we say damn all the time, you know, in the UK. No one even bothers about it.
Yeah.
And hell was certainly something that you said all the time. Like, you know, so it occurred to us, or Nintendo really, because like, they didn't say to us, take it out. It'd been there. The DK app was written for a long time before the game came out. And no one once said to us, you got to take that out. Because we would have changed it, you know. But no one ever, and when we got that, people saying to her, oh my God, they swear in this game. We were like, I couldn't think of a swear word. I couldn't think of one. They were like, hell? I was just amazed. So I find that a bit strange.
Yeah, that's America as well. We kind of, you know, overreact and get offended by a lot of things.
I know, yeah. I've noticed that.
Yeah. Sorry. I kind of wish that, like, America was a little bit more like, you know, the, like, UK side where we can just swear and it's not really that bad. Because I feel like hell's not really that bad of a word, but, like, people just, like, overreact to it. But it was
weird. I found that really weird, I got to say.
Yeah. It's like that, and like, you know, you guys say like shit a lot, and it's like that's not that bad. It sounds funny.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's just me. It's like I was watching. I think it was like IT Crowd said that, and I was like, huh. I guess it's just this. They say it a lot, like it's common knowledge. Okay, cool, whatever. They don't care.
Yeah. It's like saying crap as well. Like crap to us doesn't really mean shit. Crap means bad.
Oh, really?
It doesn't really mean shit like in the UK. It kind of means that's crap. It means that's just really bad.
Yeah.
So I don't think we kind of link crap to shit, but you seem to do that over here.
In American terms, this is like the most swearing interview I've ever done. And like UK, like this is just a typical interview. I don't know why everybody's like freaking out about this.
I'm trying to keep it down because I'm known for my
I don't care.
bad language.
Oh, trust me, I've worked in places where it was every other word was a swear word, so I'm used to it.
I think it's when I did the Game Grumps thing. I did, you know, I had such fun doing that, and that, you know, I just swore for the entire hour.
You did.
I never really thought about it, and like, you know, anybody that's had like 1.5 million views or something like that, you know, and like everyone knows that's me. And like my kids' friends' parents have started to find that on the internet now. And they're all going, oh, look, it's Mr. Kirkhope. And they put it on. They go, oh, my God, to quickly turn it off. So I kind of wish I hadn't sworn quite so much. I think I've learned now that the internet's forever. So, like, if you do that, it's going to be there forever and ever and ever. So I probably wouldn't quite do that quite that way again.
Well, the highlight of my career right now is I'm swearing with Kirkhope, so I don't care. Oh, my gosh. Let's talk about the Guest Grumps episode, because it's one of like the most is one of the more highly watched episodes, and it's a very prestigious episode as well, because 1, it's their first Guest Grumps, 2, it's you, 3, it's just all around amazing. How did you get approached for that?
It wasn't really approaching really. Like John had contacted me like quite a long time before that to say he liked Banjo-Kazooie and he was a fan, and I don't think I really realised kind of how big him and Aaron were as a couple of like, you know, kind of internet people. Mm-hmm. And when I moved to LA, I mailed John to say, by the way, it's kind of, I didn't even know where they were. I said, by the way, you know, where are you based in America? I thought maybe they're over here. He said, we're in Glendale. I was like, oh my God. I said, well, I just moved over here now. I said, why not come and, I'll come over and say hello. So I wanted to kind of buy them a drink really and say thanks for saying such nice words about the music over the years, because John was a big fan and Erin was, you know, like the stuff too. And I thought they were just nice people. I thought it'd be nice to say, I'll buy you a pint or something, have a chat and it'd be really nice. And John said, well, why don't you come on the show? And I was like, what? he said, well, you can come on the show, and and I said, I'm not very funny, really. I don't think you'll like it. I'll just sit there like a boring old man and not say very much, And he said, no, it'll be great fun. So I said, oh my God. So we met up and had a burrito together before the show, and then went back to their house and did the thing. And it was it was really, really good fun to do. And John and Aaron are really funny guys, so they kind of really, it was just great fun to do. And it was all just like off the cuff, like just press record and off we went. It was like that, And I had no idea it would be that funny or people would want to watch it. And so that was really kind of unexpected. But it really was just like John saying, look, never mind buying us a drink. Why don't you come on the show for a laugh? And I just thought, all right, I'll do it. But I think I might mess it up for you because you two are really funny and I'm not very funny. So it was a bit like that.
Yeah, it was a hysterical episode. Do you think we'll ever get backseat gaming with Grant Kirkhope?
If I had the time, probably, but I haven't got the time. I've got a YouTube channel. I just never do it. I've got 2 videos on there. I've got that ice bucket challenge and me, what's the other one? And me doing the Yooka-Laylee Spiral Mountain thing. That's it, I'm afraid.
You probably have 2 videos, like a buttload of much more subscribers than I do. I make 10 videos. 10. Yeah. All right. I can't think of any more questions. I'm sure I'm gonna probably think of some on the way before. As always, with all my guests, I always ask these same questions. I just realized I need to ask one more, so you're gonna get an inaugural question at the end.
All right.
First off, what is your default ringtone?
It's just a standard. It's the Apple old phone, the really boring one, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay.
It's not very exciting.
What's the most played song on your iPod?
It's probably something like Reunion of Friends from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. It's one at the very end where Hagrid comes back and Hermione gets unfrozen. I love that piece of music. It's really brilliant. So I've listened to that a lot.
I was like anticipating like something like The Trooper or something by Maiden. Or like,
probably something like Screaming and Digital by Queensryche's another high one.
Nice. What's your guilty pleasure band?
Band?
Yes. Or singer?
You know what? I listen to a lot of orchestra soundtracks, and John Williams is my guy, so I listen to him an awful lot. Because John Williams is like my textbook. Like I listen to him when I need to learn stuff because he's so good and I'm so crap compared to him. So like I still listen to the first 3 Harry Potter soundtracks that he did an awful lot, and Hook, because those soundtracks are so excellent, so fantastically orchestrated, and they're just the best, right? So they're my textbook. So because I'm a composer and I'm working all the time, I tend to listen to those to try and learn. So I'd have to say that, really.
Nice. I think you're one of the few people that doesn't say ABBA. Because I feel like that's like everybody's guilty pleasure band. Mine included. I love ABBA. I don't care what anybody says.
I mean, who doesn't love ABBA? I've got like 3 or 4 other albums, so I think they're brilliant.
Yeah.
That's my time. I guess I was a teenager when they were big, so they were big for me,
One of my friends, he got married last year, and I said, hey, did you get your soundtrack, ready for your wedding? He's like, yeah. I'm like, is Dancing Queen on there? And he's like, I don't think it is. Like, it's a shame. I really wanted to go to this wedding.
Yeah, you're not going. That's right.
What's your favorite song to just belt it out to? You don't care how on or off key you are.
That's a good one, that is. God, what could that be? Well, I guess something like It's a Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll by AC/DC off the first album, High Voltage.
Okay.
That's a great song. Or the first one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I love that tune. That first AC/DC album was a big album for me. I could listen to that an awful lot, and Bon Scott was fantastic.
He was.
So I would, every song on that album was an absolute gem. So I'd sit I would listen to that in the car a lot. It's a great album, that is. I mean, Bon Scott was amazing. So I loved that first album. It's killer.
Yeah. If you could eat one meal for a week without any health consequences, what would it be?
Oh, I've got really sweet teeth, so I love things like that.
Yeah.
Pecan pie. I love pecan pie. I could eat it till the cows come home.
Nice. Someone came up to me and was like, do you say pecans or pecans? I'm like, neither. Pecans.
It's pecan in the UK,
pecan?
I'm afraid.
All right.
Yeah.
Learning a lot of stuff about the UK in this episode.
Yeah.
Which I've been wanting like a numerous like UK TV kick on Netflix. So it's like goes perfectly.
And Hulu too. Hulu's got tons of them.
Oh yeah, of course I watched IT Crowd for the 5th time in a row. It's such a good show, and I'll go on YouTube and watch Mock the Week and Nevermind the Buzzcocks. I'm getting my nice British fix in. And of course Doctor Who, because You have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is it true that it's a mandatory that you have to like Doctor Who when you live in the UK?
Yeah, when you're born, you have to sign a contract.
That's what I thought.
So,
Real quick, favorite Doctor in Doctor Who?
David Tennant, I've got to say, I think he was tremendous. I really do.
He was so good.
Yeah.
That's one episode I only watched once, is when he leaves. It's like, nope, I can't handle that.
Yeah, but also the one on the beach where Rose Tyler and him meet, and it's all that was such a tearjerker. I mean, that was really it was a revelation to get Doctor Who to kind of be that level.
Yeah.
And like, so sad that he couldn't be with her, and oh my God, it was like, that was a really emotional moment, I think.
Yeah, and it's just one of those moments where it's like, just say it.
Yeah.
Just, oh man,
That's absolutely fantastic.
That was.
Yeah.
I got like there's ugly cry, and then there's like the exponential ugly cry to the ugly cry power. And I'm assuming you've seen the Day of the Doctor special. Yeah. When he said, "I don't want to go," like, I'm in a movie theater watching it, and you see me go, "Oh!"
Yeah.
He was great. He was so good. Favorite superhero? The hard-hitting questions on that new show.
I like a lot of superheroes. Something like the Vision. I used to really like the Vision because he was like android. And he was he had tons of powers, and he was really cool. And I like the Vision a lot back in the day. I used to read a lot of comics in the 70s and 80s, really, probably. Yeah. So I remember when I was a kid, like in Scotland, buying all the American comics, back then, and I used to like the Vision a lot.
Did you like?
I used to like the Heavy Metal Kids too. I thought they were really good. I don't know if you even remember them, but they were like just a bunch of robots. I liked them a lot. I thought they were great.
Yeah, I never
heard of that, probably.
Never heard of them. Yeah, sorry for the age gap on this one. What did you think of Vision on Avengers 2?
I haven't seen it yet. I've got to say I've not seen it, and I've got to see it. But like when you got two kids, it's hard to get out and with no babysitters. So I'm not quite reading that yet. I know it's hard to understand.
Yeah, I'll try to finish this interview real quick so you can go watch this. What's your drink of choice? Alcoholic or non-alcoholic? Doesn't matter.
I like Dr. Pepper a lot, but I think alcoholic probably something like. I do like Cadillac margaritas. They're good.
Oh, I love margaritas.
I like the Cadillac one where you put the Grand Marnier in it. I like that.
Never had that one.
Yeah, you kind of put in your tequila and you mix it with Grand Marnier and a little bit of lime or maybe sometimes 7-Up. I think that tastes great. I like that a lot. And I really like Parfait Amour, which is probably a bit of an odd drink, but we drink that quite a lot in the Kirkhope household with the wife. That's a bit like kind of Parma. You know what Parma violets are? So it's kind of they're called something else here. It's like a
pomegranate,
a purple sweet, like a candy, a round hard candy in a packet. Called something like what are they called here?
I don't know.
It tastes a bit like that. Anyway,
okay,
but I like that.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one that likes margaritas. I love margaritas. They're so good. What's your favorite internet video?
There's one I watch a lot called Scottish Star Trek.
Scottish Star Trek
on YouTube, and it's just done. It's just like Star Trek, but done with like all really very popular Scottish actors that no one's heard of over here. But they're just kind of talking Scottish, and it's really, really kind of hardcore Scottish. So most people just can't understand it unless you are Scottish. Yeah. And it's just a really tremendously funny little snippet of like, I could watch it and piss myself every time I watch it. I think it's absolutely hilarious. Nice. There's one particular bit where the female character talks about a spaceship that's approaching, and then what she says, you're never going to understand it. But it's just like, it's so funny. I just cry every time I see it.
Oh my gosh. I have a feeling also I'm going to be texting you. I'm going to watch that. I have a feeling I'm going to be texting you about that and the, what was it, Margarita Cadillac? Is that what you said?
Cadillac Margarita.
Cadillac Margarita. All right. I'll be looking that up. I'm going to have someone make that for me. Also, what's the best type of beer? What is the best beer ever?
You know what? I'm not a massive beer drinker, I've got to say. I just drink like crappy lager, really. I mean, I guess you call it like, in the UK we have bitter, which is still, and lager, which is fizzy. Okay. So here you call Budweiser beer, we'd call that lager. Okay. It's a fizzy beer. So like, I quite like the Blue Moon. That's all right. I quite like that. But I'm not a massive beer. I tend to get drunk really fast on beer. But I can drink spirits or liquor, as you call it. Yeah. I can drink more of that than I can of beer. I don't know why that is. I can have 2 bottles of beer and be drunk, but I can drink quite a lot of Jack Daniels and not be drunk, so it's a bit weird. So yeah, I don't drink a lot of beer.
For a second, I thought you were about to make the joke, like, here you call Budweiser beer, but in the UK, we call it crap.
It's really bizarre, like, because in America, a lot of you people here really like to drink Harp Lager. That Harp, you think Harp's really great. And like in the UK, we think that's pretty shit. And bizarrely enough, in the UK, I'd say that Budweiser probably is the most drunk beer, probably. When you go to a pub in the UK, you'll see bottles and bottles and bottles of Budweiser, and we all drink it loads, thinking it's really cool. And you lot think it's crap. So it's really peculiar how the two things match up.
That's so weird. Like, Budweiser is like, it's marketed as, it's the American beer. And it's like, you see like rednecks, like, yeah, smoke, like drinking a beer, waving the American flag and everything. It's kind of weird to imagine like it's like the more popular drink over in the UK.
I think it's probably because we think, like, the UK thinks America's cool, right? So I would think that most British people think Budweiser is a cool beer because it's American. That's what I think.
I'm glad that they think we're cool. Yes, we're moving up. To help settle a debate, do you think Mega Man is a superhero?
No, I don't think I do. But I've got to say, I haven't played those games at all. I just don't think he is. I don't know why.
Well, okay, we'll put an asterisk on that one. Play Mega Man X, and then maybe that might change your mind.
All right.
Curse you, Matt. My roommate are having this massive debate. And then finally, the new question. What show are you currently marathoning on Netflix?
What am I watching on Netflix? I'm watching something on Netflix. What is it? I'm actually watching something on Hulu, so I guess that's kind of similar.
Yeah.
But we're watching Car Share, which is there's a comedian in the UK called Peter Kay, who's a northern comedian who's really funny, and he's really big in the UK. He's done like some absolutely immensely gigantic tours, like 18 nights at one arena in one city, like incredible numbers of people, millions. But he's just a northern bloke who's really funny. But he's got this show at the moment called Car Share. I don't know if it's out in the UK right now, but I'm watching on Hulu right now. I have just been watching Glee. I like Glee. I don't know why. I've just been watching the last season of that. Just finished that off. We got halfway through Daredevil, and I just found it a bit boring. And I got to say that everyone's gone about how great that is, and I don't know why I don't see it. So I'm not finished it. I've got like maybe 3/4 of the way through. So I'm going to watch it a bit later, but I've just found it really dull so far.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet.
I really like Charlie Cox, the actor. I loved him in Stardust. That's one of my all-time favourite movies. But I just can't seem to get through it. What else am I watching at the moment? There's something else I'm watching too. No, I think that's probably it. Glee, Car Share. Was it Car Share? Or something like that. And Daredevil a bit.
All right. It's funny that you mentioned Stardust because I just was brought up the other day and it was like nobody ever talks about this movie and it has like a good amount of British actors and then like I believe that had a good amount. I could be mistaken for another movie and then like randomly Michelle Pfeiffer and it's like I'm surprised no one really talks about this.
That is a really good movie, that, and for me that soundtrack is. I listened to that a lot when I was writing Viva Piñata. And like that is by Aylan Eshkeri. He's a British guy, and he came out of nowhere for me when he wrote that score. I thought it was absolutely ball-breakingly fantastic, and I bought it the next day, which is really rare for me. I went out and bought that soundtrack the next day. I thought it was fantastic. I listened to it an awful lot, still do a lot now, I kind of, he's done a ton of movies since then. I just haven't heard anything as great as that. But he's a very popular composer, way more popular than I am. But yeah, Stardust is a really good movie. It was from a little tiny graphic novel. It got turned into this big, and I thought it was so well done. I've watched it 100 times, and like the music is fantastic. So yeah, it's a great movie, that is.
One more question I forgot to ask you. Do you ever have like a ritual or something that you like to do before you start writing music?
Not really. I've got to say I'm the most. I'm pretty boring. It's like I get asked about, what do you do? What's your kind of technique for composing? How do you go about it? And honestly, I just really sit down and load up something like or some violins or whatever the hell I think at the moment at that time and mess around till I hear something that I like. Nice. I think that because I spent like 12 years at Rare as a staff composer, so you work from 9 till 5 in the UK, in Europe, right? Not 9 till 6 like here, and you just get used to going to work at 9 and making a start, right? It's a great habit to get into. For me, it's fantastic because I get up early in the morning. I can write music straight away. A lot of guys wait till the afternoon or write all night or wait for the hand of the Lord to hand them some inspiration. I mean, I don't work like that because I'm an atheist for one. But like, it's like, I'm a very workman-like person. So I just kind of sit down and make a start. And I was kind of, if I get stuck, I said to myself, in those piano notes that you're looking at on that keyboard, every song ever written is in there somewhere. Every piece of music you ever heard is probably in there somewhere. Like, you just got to find it, right? So I remind myself that just hit a key and then hit the next one. And then, don't sit there and get stuck and go, I've got writer's block. Like, I just get on with it. Change it later, just get on with it. So I guess that kind of staff composer thing was a great regime to get into. So it stuck with me all this time. So even though I'm a freelance now, like I still get up early to get the kids to school, but I just make a start.
Nice.
8:30, 9 o'clock and get on with it.
Nice. It's actually funny because I had writer's block the other day, and it's like, it's good inspiration. So, Yooka-Laylee has 12 days left. Please back it. Like, everybody, get excited because it's in good hands. Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, available now on Xbox, Xbox Live and Xbox 360. Civilization Beyond Earth out now. It's $49.99 right now on Steam. Grant, I can't thank you enough. I'm pretty sure all the 90s kids that have played your games can't thank you enough for not only writing, great music, but helping out, like, becoming, like, this composer icon sort of way. And I know it helped out. Because, like, I know for a fact that, like, one of my friends is really, like, pissed off at me because I'm interviewing you, and you were, like, his inspiration for, like, writing music and everything. But
I've got to say, I don't feel like an icon. That's something I just don't feel like. I've got one to say about Yooka-Laylee. That people think that because the game's raised such a lot of cash on Kickstarter, it's all going to be great. Like, they need to understand that, you do lose £500,000, right? The minute you get the money from Kickstarter, they take a fee, British taxes. You'd be surprised at how much money you actually lose.
What?
Right before you. Honestly, it's like £500,000 It's a lot of money. That's probably like $750,000.
Good Lord.
I'm not joking here. Like, honestly, it's a substantial amount. So that's why a lot of people said, oh, Yooka-Laylee being greedy, asking for more money. It's not. That isn't the case. It's trying to raise more money to make the game as good as it can be.
Yeah.
Because you lose an awful lot. I mean, Kickstarter take a fee. British taxes are big, right? Because they're going to tax that as some kind of, I don't know what, charity or something like that. So they'll take a whopping cut of that before it even gets into the hands of the Platonic guys. So potentially, and like also giving away download codes, right? It costs something like $9 a time.
Really?
You've got 50,000 download codes to give away. It's a lot of money, right?
Now I feel like I didn't ask the right questions today. It's like, I should have gone all about this Kickstarter thing.
Exactly, but I mean, so you got to understand that people have to understand that the Yooka-Laylee boys that really are not greedy, money-grabbing people at all. They're far from it. They believe in this game so much. It's you wouldn't believe it, right? They're so sort of endeared to the fans. They want to make the game that the fans have been waiting for 17 years. They really do want to do that, right?
Yeah. And
like nothing more is in their minds. So it's not like they just try to get more money because they want more money. It isn't that. It's they try to get more money just to try to make it better, to hire more people, to do it faster, right? So that's the thing. So you really do lose a ton of cash once you start getting your British taxes get taken off and the Kickstarter fees. You'd be surprised. That's a lot of money.
Jeez. We're just learning a lot, not only about, UK, but now about Kickstarter. I feel like I should have asked, like, more Kickstarter questions now more than anything.
I think Kickstarter take a percentage. I'm not sure what it is. It might be 5-10%. Yeah. The biggest chunk will go to the British government. That's the most money. They'll get a big kick out of it.
Darn you, government!
It'd be the same here.
Yeah.
It's no different each country. But like it is about £500,000. It's a ton of money, that is.
Good Lord. That's.
I know.
I'm now like, I don't know if I should be like shocked or like flabbergasted. Like, they're just taking so much money from us.
I know. Well, there you go. So please, people, if you got any money left, give it to the Kickstarter campaign.
The link will be down below in the description, so you guys check it out. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below. What is your favorite song that Grant's ever done, or even favorite game that he's done, since he's done a lot. Feel free to subscribe for any other interviews that I've done, or to see other videos I've done. Also check those out. You can follow me on Twitter at Chase Bunker. You can follow Grant on Twitter at Grant Kirkhope. His website, GrantKirkhope.com. Our Facebook page, Facebook.com/ThatNewShow. Other than that, I think I've plugged about a million different things. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, Grant Kirkhope, thank you very much for being a part of it. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
No worries.